Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon, so I figured I would speak about the films, of course, for this video. So, yeah, I guess to be more specific here, it'd be this sci-fi adventure kind of thing I'll be speaking about. Yeah, I think we all know what we're talking about here. More specifically, the sequel trilogy that was produced by the Walt Disney Studio. And I guess to be more specific here, this in some ways, I guess, in other words, me defending these films because there's been so many false accusations with these movies. I'm not going to speak about every single one because there's a lot here, but a lot of people thought there was some sort of propaganda thing going on, acting as though this movie was going to be anti-Caucasian, it's going to be anti-white. So that doesn't make any sense. This film is not that. Just because they want to have more people from various countries does not mean it was anti-white. And the fact that it was directed, okay, Force Awakens and Rise of Skywalker were directed by a Jewish director, but they also someone used that as evidence. Well, if you want to call it that, acting as though there was some sort of hidden propaganda kind of thing going on, which obviously was not the case. Just because they had a different set of characters or what have you from other ethnic backgrounds, from maybe various countries working together to defeat evil, does not mean there was something behind it. But of course, a lot of the fans, not all the fans, but a lot of the fans, took this the wrong way, acting as if that this was actually legit, which obviously was not. They're acting as though, and they claimed that the Walt Disney Studios had ruined Star Wars forever just because of this. So they're acting as though that just because they have a minority as the main characters, whereas the villains were all the same color of skin. But they don't seem to realize that the villain characters were intentionally racist. That does not mean the films themselves were racist. So that was actually done before in the other films, and these movies were just continuing that trend. So of course, and a lot of people thought that just because it's going to be a more lenient, it was going to be some sort of liberal thing going on, and thought just because it has a liberal thing, it's going to be anti-white. And having white characters does not mean it's racist either. It's just assumptions. And yeah, that was that, folks. At the end of the day, folks, all I really cares about is the plot. That's all I care about. Is having a good story. That's it. So the characters can be from whatever, and can be doing whatever. I just want a good story. And when you think about it, racism was actually hinted at even at the old films. Yeah, this kind of thing was hinted at, even in the very first Star Wars film that was ever released. So to prove that racism is wrong, that was hinted before. So now you're gonna make a big deal out of it? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense, really. But I don't know. This kind of people will be the same individuals who will get pissed off at Dragon Age for whitewashing, which was never the case, really. But okay, whatever. So even if people might want to tell me that, okay, maybe just because they have a different opinion doesn't necessarily mean they have a bad personality. Maybe they're just nice people. Well, you know what, folks? Maybe say, yeah, go to the mall just so to buy me some Disney dolls, and I still they said they can go get. Anyway, another major quote unquote criticism they want to give this film is that there's a female lead. Yeah, really, a woman as the main character. Yeah, that seemed to bother some folks. Yeah, never mind the fact that one of the most important characters in the original trilogy was a woman. Yeah, then they say the new Star Wars films were being aimed for social justice warriors, which is a lie. When you think about it, in the original trilogy, when you think about it, the Vietnam War was still heavy on a lot of people's minds, so people still want to think about this. there was a different cultural change at the time, and the Vietnam War was the first war to be in color and be broadcasted around America. So a lot of stuff that's going around in that period of time was, it's different. There was a culture change. There was a lot of movements being around. So, if anything, George Lucas was just going along with that movement. And women were starting to have their own jobs. Women were starting to have their own careers, their own cars and whatnot. They were starting to break away from what is considered to be the social norm for women. So it does make sense to have a strong female lead in the original Star Wars trilogy to have a reflection on that. So if anything, the new Star Wars films are basically continuing that because all these films are supposed to take place in the same universe. So it does make sense for these films to take place uh, a few decades afterwards. So of course people are gonna change. Of course people are gonna be different, and the character of Rey could be a reflection of that. Maybe she's different from the other women. And that's fine. She's not perfect. She's not indestructible. She has made mistakes, and one of the things is that she's impatient. She's extremely impatient. That's considered as a flaw. While like, in some ways I can still say that the original trilogy might be the better trilogy and whatnot, but I still enjoyed the sequel trilogy. These are really enjoyable films, and I really liked them. And I'm glad that Disney is still willing to make these films, and they should. Like I said, folks, I don't really care about the story. That's it, just the plot. Since story made the original trilogy so enjoyable, at the end of the day, that's all I really want. That's a good story. I really don't care about the character's gender. I don't care about the sexual orientation. It's whatever. I don't care where they came from. At the end of the day, what really matters is the plot. That's it. That's all I really care about. Is having a strong story. It doesn't matter what they are. I mean, it could be all one race or multiple races, whatever. I just want to see a good story. Have a lot of excitement, have a lot of action and whatnot. If you can make things interesting, fine. And if you can have diversity, fine. If all of this goes along with the story, be my guest. I don't mind. So, yeah, a lot of fans seem to have a really gripe against this just because of this. At least this is one of the major problems they seem to be bringing up for no real reason when I think about it. Which is ridiculous because the movie isn't bad just because it has a female lead. So it doesn't make any sense. And I just find it odd that they would specifically attack this. And in The Force Awakens, yeah, a lot of people complain about the fact that she was so good with a lightsaber right away. Which is ridiculous because in Star Wars The Force Awakens, she had the staff that she used to practice. Is anyone really paying attention to detail? Doesn't seem like it. So it also, show that a lot of people may come off really natural at certain things compared to others. So and that's the thing. Maybe she's really skilled and really a lot of it comes off natural. I mean, yes, she has made mistakes before. And the character was never written in such a way to be absolutely perfect at all. I mean, her parents were really brought up until the last film of the trilogy, sure, but that was intentional. So yeah, we don't really get much of a backstory when it comes to her parents, which I didn't mind really because he was trying to show off that there's some sort of mystery at first. It was hinted at in the Force Awakens and the Last Jedi, which is I don't mind really because they're trying to build a universe here, trying to build a world here, so to speak. So all that is partly fine. By all means, do that if it's constructed well enough. Sure. Moana was praised for having a character from a different country as the lead, even with Black Panther as well. That film was praised for having a main character from a different country. So when these films tend to have something different, like having minorities or what have you as main characters, it gets shitted on. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, granted, there was minorities in the original Star Wars trilogy as well, sure, and these films were just continuing that trend that the original films did. And technically speaking, Rey is being played by a British actress. So when you get down to it, they even get that wrong. So again, what they're saying and doing doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, like I said, I really like this trilogy. I really did enjoy it. I mean, okay, I'm not gonna say that is the Godfather of trilogies or anything. I'm not gonna go up that high. But these trilogies are actually good. They have a pretty solid storytelling. They're trying to connect to all the films, which I understand isn't really easy to do because Star Wars already has a truck ton of films, so trying to tie up everything is pretty difficult. But for what it's worth, folks, while these films may not be completely perfect or anything, I liked what they did. The special effects are great, and well, of course it would be because it's Disney for crying out loud. I thought the acting was really good, the music was fantastic, the acting was pretty good too, the editing was done, and of course, I did like the fact that they actually gave a little nod towards the source material as well. Little wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So if you actually know your stuff, actually give little hints at that, which of course is highly appreciated because a lot of this stuff is actually based on the lore and the expanded universe. So I'll give credit when credit's due. So the writing for these films are actually pretty good. So I like that. So I do have to show some appreciation for that. So they know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. Yeah, sure. These films are pretty long. The lengthiest Star Wars film from the new trilogy is The Last Jedi, which ran for about 2 hours and 33 minutes. Yeah, that's pretty lengthy right there. But I did like all three of them, folks. They all three were really good films, so exciting, action packed, fast paced. So it did feel like a sci fi epic, and it did what it's supposed to do. It's just the negative feedback from the fan base that can actually can ruin it already. I mean, these films already getting some controversy from religious folks for having a female lead because a lot of religious people took this as an offense. Yeah, even these films get some heat from certain religious folks for having a female lead, as they will claim that it's an attack on their belief system because the men are supposed to be the higher ups and whatnot. That's just ridiculous right there. Now that is definitely sexist right there, folks. Even in 2020, still get some bigotry. And yes, these films aren't afraid to throw some obvious hints at the LGBT community. Yes, that's in these films. Whether you like it or not, that's in these films. But of course, that did some anger some religious folks as well, as they claim that Disney is trying to destroy family values from Christians, which obviously is nonsensical. So yeah, it doesn't exactly help that even the fan base, who may or may not be religious, are attacking these films. So yeah, this is getting really crazy and out of control because none of this makes any sense. It's really absurd. A good movie is a good movie no matter what. If it's done right, I'm not even a huge fan of these films. And yes, I'm fully aware by the fact that just because I said that, people are just going to dismiss what I have to say, acting as though my opinion is invalid. A good movie should be a good movie regardless if you're a fan of it or not, folks. So this entire thing just comes off really ridiculous. So anyway, folks, I know this is pretty much like in a rant in a lot of ways, but I'm usually complaining about stuff anyway. So anyhow, thanks for watching and take care. So see ya. I really do appreciate the views, folks. I really do. This gave me an excuse to talk about Star Wars and whatnot. But anyway, see ya.